All right, everybody, welcome back to Two Dads in Business podcast. Today's episode is going to be about a hot topic that we get a lot. It's branding, but it's not going to be what you think it's probably about. So, welcome to the show. I'm Steven and my co-host Andrew.
How's it going, everybody?
How's life?
Good. Life's been busy.
Nice. Awesome, man.
Work's been busy.
Yeah.
We've been kind of moving and shaking. I think everyone's feeling it, but
yeah, it's been a weird, it's been a, I don't know, I guess maybe weird or maybe just different year, right? Like the cycle has kind of ended. Everybody's come off of the whole like COVID business stuff and it was relatively easy. Then the economy seems a little bit flatter and it's interesting. It's kind of weeding out real entrepreneurs or at least real entrepreneurial mindset, right? Like, hey, oh, you mean what worked last year isn't working? Don't just keep pushing the pedal down on the same thing over and over. Be willing to take a step back and say, hey, maybe things are just a little bit different. And so I need to be a little bit different.
Well, we even talk about it a lot. You know, the idea that it's 100% growth year over year for the rest of your life. Like if it was that easy, everyone would own a business and run a business. So getting phone calls about, how do we get past, getting only 20% growth this year? And it's like, you should be happy if you're growing 20% this year. That's like healthy numbers in a normal economy. And so, it's just been a little bit funky this year, but
cool.
Nothing bad.
So let's talk about branding.
Yeah.
This has kind of come up a bunch of times and it kind of fits with the whole like economy or whatever is happening out there in the world, because I think people, let's say it this way. How often over the past 3 to 5 years have we talked about the importance of brand? And
every day
people didn't really need it that bad. And now those clients and those entrepreneurs out there that really focused on brand, they're kind of reaping the rewards from it. And those who didn't are suffering. And, you can't just set up a PPC campaign and expect to get leads if you have no brand. And so there's a lot of common misconceptions when it comes to brand too. Like you and I were talking about, it's not just your brand guideline with your color schemes and your logo and your one tag bullet point.
And you got a really pretty looking website.
Yeah.
Exactly. Those are tools at best to display you, but they are not the thing.
Yep. Yeah. And so let's talk a little bit about brand. And it's this weird thing where I think a lot of people are like, oh man, I got to have a brand. How do you do it? And they're out there Googling and asking AI to build a brand, and they're going to a coaching group and they're like, okay, like you tell me what my brand is because I run a plumbing company.
Yep.
And that's just not the way that it starts. You got to take a step back and say, who am I as a leader or a business owner, and what's important to me? And start to really identify like, what's your personality? Like that's a really good first place to start. Are you the type of business owner that you come in and you're very, hello, my name is Bob. Welcome to the business. We're going to serve you very well. Our culture is very clean and neat and tidy, and our offices look like this and our vans look like this. And if that's who you are, that's awesome. Totally own it, right? Yeah, totally own it. And then you'll also get employees that match that, and you'll also get customers that match that. You can't be everything to everyone, and too many small businesses try to do that. Or you the guy that comes in or the girl that comes in and you're like, hell yeah, it's Monday. Like, let's go. Like, I'm ready to go. Like, let's get it on, like motivation to the max and music. And as long as that's your true personality, great. Own it. Because there's customers out there that love it. There's employees out there that love it. But I mean, starting with you and really getting honest with yourself about who are you and what's fun for you, kind of without the noise of the external world, like that's the best place I've always found to kind of start.
Well, I think, it's funny. You've seen a lot of this. I've seen a lot of this. It's not something WIT does, which is the organic social component for these home service companies. That being said, the last 3 years, how often did everyone call and be like, what should I make a video on to post on Instagram? And if you could give me 5 of them and I'll make them this week, and then maybe we'll start getting phone calls. And it's like, guys, do it because you want to do it. And I think I've heard you tell a few of our clients, kind of giving them some guidance on like, guys, if you're not actually willing and wanting to do it, don't even start. Because doing a video here and there and kind of throwing it out there and hoping it sticks, like people aren't just going to follow you because you made a video. you
Especially
know?
not now. 6, 7, 8 years ago, maybe when it was like a little bit new and
Yeah.
businesses weren't on Facebook. Yeah, totally. You could have maybe tripped over a golden coin, but now
Yeah.
it's just so
Yeah.
busy
So if it's
that
not you,
yeah,
stop trying to do it,
yep,
and I talk to a lot of people about digital's great, but we're a minority percentage of your total revenue. What are you doing as far as community involvement? And I know we get some pushback on occasion because it's
yeah,
like, well, stop telling me to get out and shake hands. I just want the phones to ring. And it's like, yeah, but what if, hey, you go meet a couple people and all of a sudden one of them needs something. I had a client meeting the other day and he said because of his last chamber meeting he was at, he accidentally like spilled some potato salad or something like that and got talking with this guy and ended up doing a almost $30,000 job.
yep,
For the guy's like, oh, you do that? I actually was meaning to call somebody any way we could do, and it was this totally organic interaction, and the guy was super happy with their service and lifelong client
yeah,
now, and huge little chunk of money for the business. And it's like, are you willing to go do those things?
yeah. Yeah, it's not what it was
Yeah.
3, 4, 5 years ago when you could almost just write a check or the phone would just kind of ring
Mm-hmm.
all day and you
Yep.
had business. It's just not the case right now. And like everything, it's in a cycle. It will swing back in
Yep.
2, 3, 4, 5 years, whatever. It'll be that way again, and it'll be easy to grow a business. Like this
Mm-hmm.
is just how it's always been.
Yep.
And so, kind of paying attention to what is your brand. I mean, now's a great time, right? Especially if you're a little slow. Now would be a great time to start putting some focus on this. And
Yep.
so once you kind of figure out who you are, now start to figure out, great, what is your culture? What's important to you with your people? You think about WIT, right? I've always kind of said we're this band of misfits. I've always hired the people that were at like a corporate type job, kind of didn't
Mm-hmm.
perform very well because they didn't fit in the box. They didn't do it the right way. They didn't color right inside the lines. And so they were kind of seen as these almost like failures
Yeah,
or
kind
like
of
the
an issue
C and D.
within.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the C
issue
and D
within the
level employees are
organization.
like, you're not bad enough that we're going to fire, but like, God, you
If
are
you would
super
just do it our
annoying.
way, yeah.
Yeah, you're super annoying to me, but like not annoying enough to deal with. And so anyway, and then those people are just going home at night. They're like, oh my gosh, like if they would just turn me loose, I could totally solve all of their problems. Like
Mm-hmm.
those 3 things that they talk about in the managers meeting every week. It's like, guys, here's the answer if you just listen to me. And they're like, no, like whatever, like
Yep.
crazy person. And so I don't know. I've always just found those people. I mean,
Yeah.
look at you.
Yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah.
I lasted
Yeah.
1 year in the corporate world
Yeah.
and I was solving all these big problems that they were coming up with. And I was like, but they weren't doing anything with it. I was
Or it
like,
was
guys,
the
it's so,
7
it's
layers
so
of
easy.
approval. Like,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
can we just change it today? Yeah.
Yeah. And so that's part of WIT is, we find these people that are seemingly kind of C and D players, but actually have tons of like different types of skill and different type
Mm-hmm.
of will and desire and
Yep.
just, they want to be able to express
Yep.
themselves. And now that comes with its own set of issues sometimes, right? Like we got a bunch of people running around that are really smart and really great ideas. We
lot of
also
problem
have to
solvers,
contain,
yep.
yeah, we have to contain that in a way, but also at the same time, make sure that we don't kind of extinguish that flame. But
Yeah.
that's a big part of what's made us so successful.
Yeah.
And
people look at us all the time and
Yeah.
go, but wouldn't it just be easier if you hired this type of person
yeah,
and just told them to do this and paid them this, and then they showed up and they checked in and checked out, and it's like that might be easier on paper, except for that's not us.
well, then we wouldn't
would-
get all of the,
We would never operate that way, and
Yeah.
we don't want that. And so I think, to your point, like having kind of that honest conversation with yourself of, I always, I tell our staff, I tell people I talk to, you can have the most dialed in utopia plan, but if you're only able to complete it 60%, it's useless.
yeah,
What if you built the 60% dialed in plan, but were able to do it 100%? And
Yeah.
so, cool. Hey, you might not be the perfect, immaculate OCD type company because you're not wired to run a business that way.
Yep.
Just get good with it and know, hey, there's going to be some hiccups. We're going to have to maybe have conversations over here, but at least we're authentic and at least we're just kind of doing it, or vice versa. Maybe you are the super rigid, like you were talking about, very type A type business owner. you don't need to become the fun rah rah
Hmm.
cheerleader that doesn't give a shit and runs in with air horns every day and acts like a child and like that. If that's not you,
It's not going to
the
work.
plan will fail regardless of how good the
Yeah.
plan is. So I like we're talking about making sure that you identify these and then build a brand.
Yep.
Everyone goes and hires a branding agency and pays them $50,000 to tell their story and tell them who they are, and then they're
Yeah.
trying to live up to it constantly. And they're like, well, why isn't it working? Like, look at our cool logo and our cool brand guide and like this mission statement, vision type thing that we put on our website. Like, why aren't people calling?
Yeah.
It's like, because it's not you. Are you running the jobs in the house that way? Is your product you're selling that way? Is your staff talking to every customer that calls that way? No, that's not you guys. So flip it around.
Yeah.
Build the graphics last.
Well, and if you're not having fun doing it,
Yeah.
even the rigid person, they're having a blast when everything runs like by the playbook and everybody starts on time. They're like, this is amazing.
Heck
My
yeah.
life is
It's
awesome. And that's
dialed,
why
yeah.
it works.
Yep.
And like for me and you, if we ran that way, we would last like a week.
Yeah, maybe.
And then we'd be totally out of business and everybody would quit.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good way to start, is like, just get honest with yourself. Go sit by yourself in your office, close the door, get a blank sheet of paper out, and at the top write something along the lines of like, what parts of this are fun for me? And like, who am I at work?
Yep.
And start to just figure out who that is, and then bring those in. And then,
and
then
if you have
get
staff
into,
you trust, ask them who they
great
think
point.
the culture is.
They probably actually know better than most of you, because they're watching it from the outside.
And you're like, that's not us. And it's like, no, that's us.
Yeah.
All 50 of us think it. Wait, you don't think that?
Yeah, but the guy's got the piece of paper from the marketing agency, like you said, that he's like, no, this is us. And they're like, no, we're actually the opposite of that.
Yeah.
No wonder you're living a painful life every day, and the company is struggling to kind of grow.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, then you can get into stuff like your core values, right? Once you kind of figure out who you are and kind of who the actual culture is and who the brand is, then you can pull the core values out of that. Don't write core values that you think. I mean, I did this the first time we did it with WIT. It was,
and look up
dude, it was so painful. It was like,
I like
integrity, trust,
Yeah.
like whatever. And then we used them for like 6 months, and I was like, yeah, cool. Anyway, we're going to throw all these out. None of these are work.
Personal opinion. If you're writing trust and integrity as your core values and words like that, those should be a given in any successful business.
Yeah.
Like, you shouldn't be getting snaps and kudos because we trust each other and our customer can trust that we're not lying to them. Like, God, I would hope that one is just kind of an unwritten rule. Like,
yeah, great point.
I've always found those so funny. Previous company I worked at, it was this, done right kind of attitude was like their slogan. It was this whole long thing, but message pretty much was like, oh, it's always done right, as we told you it would be. And I'm like, that's ridiculous.
Shouldn't that be the given?
Like, how are we not out of business if we're not doing that? That should be the, like, well, kind of no shit.
Yeah.
Why would the customer keep coming back if it's not done right? Or when we told them it was going to be done or how much it was going to cost. Like, those are known things. And I think people see that kind of stuff and they're like, this is just so...
They can feel it's fake.
Yeah. Disingenuous and by nature. And, I used to get a lot of calls with the same company and they'd be like, oh, hey, I'm just following up to see if it was done right, and there was a mistake. And it's like, I got hung with it more than anything else. And the message and the purpose of it was very pure, but it was like, guys, be more creative. Like, who are you actually? What are you really doing for your customers? Why would they pick you? If you were explaining it to a buddy at an event or something like that, or somebody you ran into, how do you explain your company? And they go, well, how do you hire? How do like, if your staff came into my house, what would it be like? How do you explain that?
Yep.
There's probably your answer. And if you can't explain that, once again, you might have larger things to reflect on as far as operating a business. But,
well, you're probably doing what a lot of people do, is you're trying to check all the boxes frantically. We get it. Like, it's stressful. Like, entrepreneurship is not an easy road, right? And so if things aren't going right, now you're out there searching online or now asking AI, like, how do I get my business better? And it's like, build a brand. You're like, oh, fuck, how do I do that? Like, okay, step 1, 2, 3. And it's kind of the fake thing. Like, really take some time to sit with what we're talking about and see who you really are. And when you start to do that, magic will just happen. Your team will be more aligned. Like, yes, if you rolled out kind of a true brand, you might lose 10, 15% of your staff. And it's not because they're bad or you're bad. It's just because they got clarity on, oh, cool, this just isn't the place for me. And you want that to probably happen. But those remaining 50 or whatever the 80, 85% is, you know, my math skills. That is not one of my core values. Those remaining employees will thrive and flourish, and you'll probably get more done with that staff than you would have with everybody still there. And they'll be happier, which means now when they talk to customers, they're happier. They're closing more deals. Like the whole thing just starts to work better. And it's not just this write down a bunch of stuff on paper. Like it's the cool part about the
some
world.
Posters on the wall in the office and tell everyone they have to read them when they go to the bathroom.
Well, you look at like the WorldCom building. I forgot what it was, but they, you know, there's this meme out there where it's like in the WorldCom building right before it crashed. There's our core values. It's like integrity, trust, never lie. You know, it's like okay, cool. You basically did all
core values on their doors. You're walking in.
It's
writing a check.
You basically lost all of them, or you didn't do any of them, and so I don't know. The cool part about, I think, where the world is heading now is entrepreneurs are starting to become more open to be like, dude, we're creatives. Like, it's okay to be a little bit creative. It's okay to not follow business school from 1995. You know, energy is a real thing. What's the energy you're bringing into your company? Because if you're drained every day, everybody feels that.
Cool. No, I like it.
So, I mean, the only thing I would say about brand is like one layer kind of deeper is there's some other themes that tend to run through your company. Like, you know, maybe customer service is just your jam. You know, at WIT, it's results and relationship. That's our huge thing. And one of our biggest service offerings has always been organic, right? And so you might have some of these themes that run through your company and start to pull some of those out too. And then make sure that you're following those. You know, like I said, organic is a big one for us, which started as just like SEO. Then it became like websites and conversion optimization. And then now people are searching other places than just Google. You got maps, you got Alexa, you got AI. And
home
so,
devices
and so we're constantly kind of growing into what are those other things where people are organically searching. So take a look at those things within your company and make sure you're keeping those themes as the world around you changes, because those are the themes that made your company successful. And those are the things that are important to you. So make sure that you're keeping those within the moving and ever-changing landscape that's only going to get it's only going to change faster.
Yeah, don't get discouraged when in 3 months everyone's not like, "Oh my gosh, you're God's gift because you gave us clarity on the brand." And I mean, how long did it take for WIT to kind of find its true voice?
Yeah, I mean, you know, what, we're 10 years in and we still have conversations about like
kind of who are we?
Like, hey, like, you know, let's just double check. Like, are we good? Are we in alignment? Like, you should always be open to
I think people try it. They make a huge push, come into the office, say we're a whole new organization. Here's our new brand. I ordered t-shirts and hats and brought everyone into the conference room, bought pizza, and then like next week when everyone isn't acting that way, they're like, see, this is why I don't invest time in this. It's such a waste. And it's like, well, no, you're going to have to invest months, if not years into consistently being that before people believe it. You're making a change and a shift. And people have always known you, the organization, whatever is this. Now you're trying to tell them it's this. Well, you got to build trust in that. So,
well, and the cool part is when you figure out who you are and you just start acting like that,
becomes more fun, and then
it becomes way more fun. And then, like you said, it might take 3 months, 6 months, whatever, but it doesn't matter because at least you're showing up and having fun, and you're not having to kind of live this double life about here's what my paper brand says and here's what I really want to be doing and what I really want to be saying and acting like.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Awesome.
So anyway, hopefully
thanks,
that's helpful. And you know, take it seriously. Like if this resonated with you, go shut your door. and sit down with a blank sheet of paper and write some of these things. Don't just have it be one of those other things that you write on a to-do list and you got 85 things and then you stick in a drawer and you never do it. Then you feel guilty about it and bad about it. And 2 years down the road, you're still no further along. Like, take it seriously.
Well, and I mean, even just if you want to talk to somebody about it, feel free to reach out to us. And we're not going to sell you on the WIP product, and we're not going to tell you got to change agencies. Like, we love to just help people on this stuff and at least give questions that they can go ask themselves that maybe nobody's taken the time to kind of present them. So, that's also an option. So
cool.
Awesome.
Awesome, everybody. Thanks for hanging out today.
Bye, guys.